Hello, guys. Good evening. I'm Jumoby, and I want to welcome you to Live Drive with Jumoby, the General Edition, of course, titled The Grand Game. So, this is not supposed to be a recording session, it's supposed to be a live session. However, network decided to, behave as network behaves, and we have to cut out the live session, and I said it's better I record the session, upload it, and share it with you so that you can get the message easily and directly, because we have a lot of people complaining that the network is not smooth. They are dropping, some are just scrolling, and they couldn't really connect to hear what I'm saying directly. So I've decided to make this recording, run it up so that you can enjoy the message. So let's get into it without wasting our time. Grant game. How? So this is basically something as simple as me sharing experience of how I've been able to win the little grants that I've won, and how you can use that lesson to position yourself in 2026 to access some of the best and amazing grants out there this year, starting with the Tony Lumelu grants, Kickstart, and so many others. There are so many. Every year it's like the list are increasing, and it's a thing of joy when I see people take advantage of such opportunities. These are opportunities that I have personally benefited from in my journey through life, from one phase to the other, and that has helped me so far to arrive at where I am presently, while I'm still hungry for bigger grants, to access the next stage of my journey. But for people who are possibly still kind of behind, like still struggling to pick up one or two grants, especially some that I have been opportune to pick up. So this is why I'm sharing. It's because of these people that I'm sharing this. You can learn from my mistakes, my strategy, and then put them to use and bag yourself some grants in 2026 and make some progressive moves in your life, in your business, and whatever area that is of importance to you. So welcome again. I won't take much time. Hopefully I don't exceed the 30-minute limit I set for myself. 3 minutes is out already, so I have 27 minutes. Let's go. So like I said, tonight, or this particular episode of Live Drive, the Grand Game, is not theory. It's cars. Because I did not win grants because I was lucky. Because a lot of people think you have to be lucky to win grants. If you want to know, go to Tony Lumelu Foundation's page on Facebook and see comments. You will be wowed. Like, people think it has to be a luck for you to win or miracle. In fact, I remember when I got my Tony Lumelu grant back then, someone was like it was publicly announced to they are just selecting people they know. I'm like, I was forced to comment on Facebook public comment section, like, if you are saying it's who they know, like, who am I? My father, my mother don't even know Tony Lumelu. Like, they are far from knowing Tony Lumelu. Like if it's not for the grant, there is no way my generation, my lineage, and Tony Lumelu lineage, like our direction is way apart. If not for the grant that I got, who gave me access to him, I visited his office, visited his home during his birthday. He invited us then, all the grantees, and we had parties, like multiple parties, amazing, wonderful parties together, because of the assets of the selection of the grants. Which, if that has not happened, I don't know how I will be in the same picture with Tony Lumelu. who is somebody I look up to, is a role model, is a successful person that I want to be as successful as he is. So it's not who they know, because that man doesn't know me from anywhere to say he wants to select me for his grant. So please, it's not luck, it's not who they know. It's not a miracle. It's strategy. You need to be rightly positioned, and I can comfortably say that because I've accessed Tony Little Grant, Leap Africa, Pollination Project, Nigerian Brewery, Kickstart program, and of course I got a Bank of Industry grant, which took me to Lagos Business School, Pan Atlantic University. What year was that? Can't remember. 2017. I think it was after the Millennium Grant. Yeah. So, and there's one thing I can say about grants, that you only need 1 year. Once you're able to secure that one, you understand the game, you understand the strategy, you understand the positioning, and that can help you, rightly position yourself moving forward with your application. So the thing that you need to be very clear with when it comes to grant application is that you need to know that grants are not charity. They're not charity. So and that is to say that you don't beg in your grant application. Grants are not charity, so don't beg when you're applying. Grants are investments disguised as kindness. Grants are investments disguised as kindness. And when you know that they are investments, you want to position yourself as someone worthy of that investment. You want to prove yourself as worthy of that investment you get. And that I honestly say from my experience of multiple grant failures that I've applied for. And every time I mention, I've been able to get 2, 3, 4 grants, and somebody somewhere will say, I've been pushing for only one since I've not I've not gotten only 1 grant since I've not gotten. And I always ask, so this one that you have been pursuing since, how many applications have you submitted? And you'll be hearing, I applied 2 times, I applied 3 times, and they did not pick me. I applied 5 times. Like, really? You are not ready? No, you're not. No, you're not. Because if you are ready, and you ask somebody like me who says I've gotten 2, 3, 4 grants, and you ask me how I achieved that, I'll boldly tell you I submitted over 200 grant applications to access that for. So meaning if I wanted 10 to 20 grants, I would have been prepared to submit 500, 1,000 applications, which of course I'm highly willing and capable to do, to show you the extent of my readiness and hunger. So you can't sit there and say, I'm only pursuing 1 grant, I've not seen one, I'm looking for one, and I can't get it. With your 3 applications, you will not see. It's not cause so, and it's not prayer either. But you will not see. And that is to tell you that you need to position yourself. You need to do more. It's hard work. So, and when you are positioning yourself for these multiple applications, you need to understand that those that want to release grants for you don't care about your personal problem or your struggle. They don't want that you've not eaten, you are hungry, you are suffering. You don't put that in your grant application. They don't care about that. Instead of explaining your personal problem in your grant application, you should explain the problem that your idea is solving for people, not for you. I hope you get that. The problem that your idea is solving is what you need to focus on, not your personal problem. Every time because I used to tell people, you need to tell your story, you need to be able to share a story and connect it. But telling your story is not telling your story in your application. So sorry, my pod is a minute, please. Okay, I think that solves it. Okay, so you need to, be able to clearly articulate not your personal problem, as I was saying, but the problem that your idea, your business, your initiative is solving. And I also realized in my early applications that not proving my capacity. You see, these are the errors in my own early application, mind you. I talked more about my personal problem. I've been suffering. Things are bad at home. I'm hustling. I've been trying a lot, but it's not looking like it. I talked more about my own personal problem. And then I talk less about my capacity, what I can do or what I want to do. And that is a very big red flag. When you submit an application and you talk less about your capacity, your skill, what you can achieve, what you can do, and then you talk more about your challenges and your problems, you are not ready for grants. You are begging for grants. Applications that talk less about capacity and talk more about personal problem are begging. And like I said earlier, you don't beg for grants. You play a strategy game to access grants. And that I learned in a hard way. And I'm sharing that with you so that you can properly reposition yourself, in your applications this 2026. Also, there are emotional honesty that I literally encountered, amongst confusion, self-doubt. Will they select me? Should I apply again after I've applied before and I wasn't selected? And at some point, definitely, I was almost quitting, no doubt. I was almost quitting. But then, no retreat, no surrender, like they always say. So most people don't lose grants because they are not good. You need to understand that. They lose because they don't know what funders are listening for or looking for. They don't know. And when you don't know, you keep scrambling and playing many more game. That kind of game, like maybe it's this one, maybe it's that one. But you need to know. You need to get to the root to know. You need to get to the root to know. So let me jump straight into this. 5 things grant committees or grant organizers are actually looking for in your application, or that they care about when you are applying for grants. 5 things, and you need to whether write it down, pen it down, whatever way, but these are 5 things that are very important that you need to note when applying for grants in 2026. Number 1, I said this earlier, but I will still hide it because it's just like the most important. Problem clarity. Number 1, problem clarity. Can a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 10-year-old understand the problem your idea is solving? So your ability to be able to explain the problem that your business is trying to address, whether in your community, in the state, or in the whole country at large, your ability to explain that problem place you ahead in your grant application. So problem clarity is very important. If you are just talking, we want to feed 1 billion people. We are an agricultural company, and we are developed to feed 1 billion people in Nigeria. So when you're talking Nigeria, going to 1 billion. That's a vague problem and solution proposition. It's vague, and if your application is vague, it's dead on arrival. It will not even pass through phase one of the application. If your problem, your solution, your terms are vague, it's dead on arrival. So you need clarity of the problem you're solving. Number two is impact. You need to share impact, not dreams. You need to share impact, not dreams. And we're talking about sharing impact. Who is going to benefit from this your idea or this your business? You need to know, and you need to let us know. Okay, I'm not the grant committee, but you need to let the grant committee knows who is benefiting from this business, who will benefit from this idea. How many people are you targeting? How many people will your business cater for? Maybe in your first 1 week, in your first 1 month, in your first 1 year. How many people can your business cater for? How many people can it help? What changes when these people encounter your business? What changes in their lives, in their homes, in their personal? What exactly are the changes that you are effecting? You need to explain that. That's the number one, problem clarity. Number two, impact, not dreams. Impact. And number three, you. I talked about capacity earlier, talking about your capacity. And so you, number three, you. Out of the 5 points, you are the number three. And what is it about you? Every grant application, when it's announced, this is the reality. Because I remember very well when I applied for 20 Little Grant, we had over 57,000 applications. And I was among the 1,000 that was selected. It's not luck, it's not miracle. So, the question you need to ask is, why you? You ask yourself, then you answer. Because every grantee, or every grantor rather, every organization that is releasing grant to people are asking the same goddamn question. Why you? 3,000 people are applying, 10,000 people are applying, 50,000 people are applying. Why you? Why should we pick you among these people? And you need to answer that question cohesively, like appropriately. Else, you're out of the application already. At that stage where you miss answering that question rightly, they don't care about every other thing that you wrote. Like, no matter how huge, how profitable your the business idea is, at that point where you miss answering the question of why you, why should this money come to you, they don't care about every other thing else. So you need to get it right. Why you? You need to be able to answer that question appropriately. You need to. And when you're answering the question, why you need to be able to tap into your past experience. You need to find a way to relate your past experience with your current idea and then your future promises. Let me come again. When you're answering the question, why you? When you're answering the question, why you need to be able to connect your past actions, your past experiences. You need to be able to connect them with your current idea, the present idea that you have, and the future promises you are making, that this idea. So you need to link them. The past you, what you experience, and how you become who you are and arrive at the idea you have. How your past influenced the person you have become, and generate the idea you have arrived at, and then how this idea and the person you have become will impact the future, what they will achieve in the future. You need to have the capacity to match all of this together, and it's not hard. It's not difficult, actually. It's not difficult to do. It's not difficult to do. So look into that. That is you, number three. And number four is simplicity. Don't use grammar. Don't use big English. You use big English, you kill yourself. You kill your application even before it starts. You kill your application before it starts. No big grammar, no drama of any form or shape. Simplicity is key. Simplicity is key. Simplicity is key. If your grant application sounds too complicated, it's too risky. If it sounds too complicated, it's too risky to get the money you're asking for. It's as simple as that. If it sounds too complicated, it's too risky to get the money you're asking for. So please, keep it simple. Keep it simple. And number 5 on the list is alignment. You are not pitching your dream. They are not interested in your dream. You are answering their mission, not dream. So you need to understand this, position yourself for this, and answer appropriately. In the line of this direction. So these are the 5 things that you need to note as you prepare for your grant in 2026. Grants don't fund potential. As much as a lot of organizations will say, yeah, if you have an idea, apply. They don't fund. So you need to have the capacity to make sure that your potential is not presented as potential, but as a future proof, as something with a delivering capacity. Meaning you don't talk of your idea or your business in the past. You talk of it in the present and in the future. I hope that makes sense. And then, how I want specific grants for Tony Lumelu, clear business model. My business plan is not anywhere around here. I would have opened and run through clear business plan. In fact, I had my business plan way before even the application actually opened, and I went through the drilling of the training, the 6 weeks training of Tony Lulu Foundation itself, which further helped me to, further develop on the business plan and the financial, the financials alongside, which helped, in building these two appropriately. So the financials, the business model was clear, the traction was real. It's an agribusiness in my case. And I have friends in other sectors too who also were able to secure this and lock it in. So, it's not just about agriculture. I have people in other sectors too who locked it in. And straightforward numbers. So, they don't fund just your idea. As much as they said come with your ideas, but they don't just fund just your idea. They want to fund clarity of the idea. They want to know that you are not asking them for money because you have an idea, but you're asking them for money because you have an idea you understand very well, and you need money to execute. You understand that? Everybody idea is cheap. Everybody have idea, but people with clarity on their idea are rare, very rare. So it is that clarity that brings you to the point of funding. You need to understand the idea you have, the capacity of the idea, what the idea can become, and then position yourself for it. And in the case of Pollination Project, of course, it's still understanding the scope and direction of the grant, because it was clearly social impact for Pollination Project, which is totally different. It was economic growth for Tony Lumelu Foundation. It was social impact for Pollination Project. You need to understand that, and it's community focused. So I was able to actually position for that. So learning positioning, different grants, different positioning model is required, and you need to understand that and put yourself in that place or in that position to be able to access these things. So the fund change, not noise. Grantors fund change, not noise. You need to make sure you are rightly positioned in a place of impact, such that you can actually be able to see the change that your idea is bringing to the society or a community, and not just noise or a drama, just we are doing something. No, it has to be very, very coherent. So the stories are actually intact. The direction of my applications are solid from every stage of the application. Really are just as well executed as the plans, the financials, and the story, like I mentioned, which is from the application stage into the business plan itself. The stories need to link. It's very essential that if a grantor is reviewing your grant application and they can connect, there's a disconnection rather between you and the business idea, that you're putting together, obviously there will be a disconnection between the person that's supposed to review your application. There will be a disconnection between the person and your application and you, because even the application already is disconnected the way you position it. So make sure you link who you are with your business idea and the future of the business to the business. What the business has the capacity to become is the future promises. Link it with the present status of the business. And how the business evolve or the idea comes to be, link it with your own story, where you are coming from. It's very important. It's very important. So once you crack one grant, you start seeing all grants with extra vision. Once you receive one, that's why I said earlier that you only need 1 year. Once you crack one grant, you receive the money in your account, like damn. You start watching every other essay with an extra vision. Like you see them clearly, like, okay, this is how I'm going to attack this application. This is the direction I will take this application, because that one you've seen will open your eyes to a whole lot. So, quick one, as I begin to round up, I'm 26 minutes in. Common mistakes that kills grant application. Mistakes that kills grant applications. I have copy pasting answers. A lot of people do that. And they send me your like a lot of people. At some point, I have to start telling you will pay if you want to collect my business plan. I won't just send you business plan. And when you now collect the business plan, you won't even do any mental work on it. You just carry, paste, and go and use to apply for your own too, just like that. You are not ready for grant too. You just copy, pasting answers, copy, pasting, replicating, what's it called? Replicating other people's application. You will go far with that, because these systems will dictate one way or the other. Now, this is not authentic. My story is different from your story. Now, you carry my application, replicate it to use for application. How do you defend that, really? So, studying other people's application is not a bad idea, but copying and pasting just as sin is the worst idea. Don't do that. And using big grammar or trying to sound smart, you don't need it. This is not academia, and it's not an English competition. Leave grammar at home. Use the simplest English that a 5-year-old person will read your business plan and understand that, okay, this is the business you want to do. A 5-year-old. That is the direction. Not one big grammar, and people will have to open dictionary to understand your business plan or your grant application. Nobody has that time. Remember, over 50,000 people are applying, and you are using complex English that somebody will have to sit down extra minutes to comprehend. Then you are gone. Your application is dead on arrival. So note that. Then over-promising impact. Watch it. I think I made this mistake earlier in my grant way back 2015. Over-promising, because we want to impress, we want to get this money. Say, if you give me this money and I start my business, in the first 6 months, we employ 1 million young Nigerians. Kilo day, calm down. Are you Dangote? You want to Dangote is up there and employ 1 million people, as big as it is. So over-promising impacts can affect your application. Be as reasonable as possible. Be as considerate as possible. Then no numbers, no proof. Grant application is all about numbers. Yeah, as from this social year to social year, we'll be able to achieve so. We need so amount of money to buy so amount of things. As in numbers, you can't downplay it. You have to use your numbers appropriately everywhere. Sorry. And lastly, applying emotionally instead of strategically, you will lose. This one is not an emotional game. You cannot come and blackmail grant committee. You can't. You can't blackmail them. You can't. What's the word now? I can't even remember. I'm trying to remember the word. You can't. So emotions will not work. Don't even go there. It's not an emotional game. It's a strategic game. So play it strategically. If your application sounds like motivation, it's already rejected. Motivation, we are open to, we wish to. If we are able to do this, open, wishing, that opium kind of, you don't do that. So you have to place your numbers. You have to speak with facts, even for things you've not done, that you don't know how it will look like. You cannot afford to be saying it as if you don't know. You have to say it as if you know. That's why in business there's terms for everything. When they said, give us your profit in 5 years, you've not even started this business, but they're asking for your 5 years profit, which they will do. Even though they will ask you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years to 5 years projection profit. So that's why they call it projection. So it's not like you're lying. It's not a lie. It's projection. Okay, from 1 year, 2 years. But where you begin to lie is when you begin to blow up the numbers and overstating impacts, like I mentioned earlier. By the time we have 5 years, we will have made 10 billion. We will have made 100 billion. What are you selling? So you need to do math. That's where we say you can't overplay numbers, because you will calculate how many products can you sell in a month. That product times it by 12 months, making 1 year. So how much is your profit on that product for 1 year? So that product for 1 year, the profit in 1 year, times 2 it for 2 years, times 3 it for 3 years, times 4 it for 4 years. You have to use numbers. It's not in your head. You just writing anything you write. You have to get serious with numbers if you really want to win grants in 2026. Numbers, calculations, very, very essential. And there are mindset that goes along when as you are preparing or getting set for grants in 2026, because the reality is that you will not get all the grants you apply for. That one I can bet on. You will not get all the grants you apply for, but you will get some, you lose some. So you need a mindset that will help you, from one stage of these applications to the other. And one of the mindsets you should have is that grants are skills, not luck. You don't win grants by luck, you win them by being skillful in your applications. Skill gets you grants. Skills get you grants, not luck. Rejections are not failure. Rejections are feedbacks. You apply, they reject you, they did not pick you. It's not because you are bad or you are just bad. It's a feedback, and then that feedback, you take it and apply it. Like, okay, let me make correction here, let me make correction here, let me make correction here, let me make correction here. So when you are rejected, it's not a sign of failure. It's a feedback for you to be better in your next application. That's a mindset that I carry and that you should carry if you want to win grants in 2026. You only need 1 year. I said it before. You only need 1 year. If you are able to secure that 1 year, others are easy peasy for you, because your mindset about grants will even change once you're able to lock in one. And where it begins to change is the way people that are yet to even get anyone, the way they start looking at you, you will know that, okay, I need to readdress or change my direction about grants. So, and then you should know that documentation is power. Documentation is power. You need to write cohesively, meaningfully, strategically, not emotions, not begging, not from the place of want. You write from a place of power, from a place of clarity rather. Don't write from a place of want, from a place of lack, from a place of neediness. No, you won't get it. You won't get it. That's why we say it's not an emotional game. It's a strategic game. That's what grant is. It's a strategic game. You need to position yourself. So 2026 is here, and the grants are here as well. And I believe you're ready. I'm ready myself. I'm positioning myself for some bigger moves, bigger grants this year. And God will help every one of us, So the same way people learn sales, you can learn grants. And I believe you've been able to pick one or two from this short session that we had together. And if you stop begging and start positioning, you will receive grants in 2026. I've said it multiple times in this session. You don't beg for grants, you position for it strategically. So that is the end of this session, and this is 35 minutes precisely. So I'm 5 minutes over the time that I set, which is fair. I'll take that. So please start documenting your work right now. Study grant mission before applying. Say, there's grants, apply button, apply, start filling. No, sit down to understand. Okay, a easy way. Let me even give you an easier way, because I know laziness is worrying a lot of people. To sit down and read everything about the grant. Open ChatGPT. Copy the link of the grant. Just the link. You don't need to copy any word from there. Just the link of the grant. Paste it inside ChatGPT and say, break down and analyze this grant for me. What do they want? What are they looking for? The past success stories. How do those people position themselves to win these grants? How can I position myself to win as well? You will see a powerful breakdown. Follow it as you see it. If you now want it to be more powerful, before you put the link of the grant, break yourself down inside ChatGPT. This is who you are, your past, your experiences, your business idea or your existing business, how you arrive at the business, what you are hoping the business will achieve, future promises. Those 3 things, explain it inside ChatGPT. Then put the link of the grant. This is the grant you want to apply for. Analyze it in connection with my own brief profile. Explain how I can position myself well to win this grant. The result will wow you. Just follow it and get ready to win amazing grants. So study grant mission before you apply. Apply smarter, not harder. Be smart, not hard, but smart. Okay? And for this session, I'm looking at also seeing how I can help 1 or 2 people, even though time is a constraint, time is a big issue. But I'm still trying to see how that will I'll be able to do that. I'll look into it though. However, if you want consultation, like you need a one-on-one consultation for me to sit with you, probably you don't have the time to sit with ChatGPT, but you want to sit with me, well, I'll charge you 100,000. 1 hour with me. We'll sit down together and I'll drill you on, I'll look into your profile first of all, break it down, the idea you want to apply with or the business, and then the direction you should take from experience, and how your application should go. In fact, which grants you should apply to, because it's not all grants you should apply to first of all. So we'll take it all through that angle and then review the present business plan you have, update it to meet up with whatever grant you are trying to meet up with, and then you can submit so that we can actually achieve together. If you're interested in that, there's a link in the description below, in the description of this YouTube video. Yeah, so click the link, enter my DM, and let's talk. Or you can just visit www.jumoby.ng/WA. That's WhatsApp. Jumoby.ng/WhatsApp, but just WA. And you can enter my DM and let's talk about it and see how we can work together in that regard. But it's not free. Time is very expensive, I beg. So, and then Live Drive. This is the first edition for this year. Prepare for the February edition. Something huge is coming in February as well. I hope network will not disturb us in February, but stay tuned, stay in the community, join our WhatsApp, the Jumoby WhatsApp community group, so you can get updates from time to time. And until I see you again, whether in my DM or in the next live session, peace. Jumoby, I remain your boy. One love. I think one love, right? One love and peace.